Catacombs of Paris are full of dark secrets. They're basically underground cemeteries, where millions of Parisians' remains are stored. And they're often considered one of the creepiest and most taboo places on Earth. Imagine a regular cemetery, but much scarier. This one is right under the city of Paris itself. Paris is famous for fashion, romance, and culture, but underneath it hides this eerie and mysterious place. These lesser-known details about the catacombs will definitely surprise you. Hi, I'm Alina. Welcome to or welcome back to my channel. In the 18th century, Paris cemeteries were becoming too crowded. To make matters worse, some bodies weren't buried properly, which was causing diseases. To solve these problems, city officials decided to close the cemeteries and move the bodies elsewhere. They chose to use the city's old underground quarries for this purpose. From the 1780s to 1814, they moved over 6 million bodies to those underground spaces. The bodies were taken from various graveyards in Paris using carts and were placed in their new resting places underground. The remains of about 6 million people are spread out in tunnels underneath Paris. Most of them are placed in special burial rooms called ossuaries, where tours are often given. However, there are more tunnels around the catacombs that were dug by quarry miners before some of them were used for burials. It's estimated that there are about 320 kilometers or 200 miles of tunnels, but not all of them have been mapped. So much of it is still unknown. It makes you wonder what else might be hidden down there. For some people, going to the local swimming pool or using a friend's pool just isn't enough. Instead, they explore the catacombs to find hidden secret pools of water that other urban explorers, or cataphiles, call impromptu swimming pools. To find these spots, you need connections. You also have to navigate through dark, narrow tunnels and murky waters before reaching the oasis, which is an underground swimming hole in a huge subterranean graveyard. In 2004, police were practicing in the catacombs when they found something surprising. While exploring a hidden part of the tunnels, they came across a huge cinema room. It had a screen, all the equipment you need, and even a restaurant and bar. The whole setup had professional phone and power lines. To make things creepier, a secret camera was taking pictures of the officers as they walked in. No one knows who set it up, and there was a note left that said, "Do not try and find us." The place might not have been the best decor for a cinema and restaurant, but it's still a strange and unexpected find. Before the catacombs became famous, Paris's main cemetery was Les Innocents, the oldest and most used graveyard in the city. By the 18th century, it had become so overcrowded that the smell of decay started bothering nearby residents. It was so crowded that after a flood broke the cemetery's boundaries, bodies started spilling out onto the ground. In the 1780s, people began moving the bodies from old cemeteries like Les Innocents into what is now known as the catacombs. And that's how the catacombs came to be. Cataphiles are urban explorers who love spending a lot of time in the catacombs of Paris for fun and adventure. They might seem like a modern-day cult, but they actually have a lot of respect for both the dead and the tunnels. They make detailed maps to help people avoid getting lost in a huge underground cemetery. They are part of a close-knit group that keeps information about getting into the catacombs private. For years, cataphiles have been creating their own community in the old quarries and tunnels. Some of them paint art, set up rooms, or party with others in the tunnels, while others come to escape from the outside world. It turns out that besides bones and decay, the catacombs also had some excellent wine hidden in them. This was the situation in 2017. A group of French thieves drilled through the limestone walls of the catacombs to reach a nearby vault under an apartment. This vault held about 300 bottles of expensive vintage wine. The thieves stole all of it, worth around 250,000 euros. In the 1780s, when bones from the dead were moved into tunnels using carts, they were first just put in the tunnels after a priest prayed for their peace. Workers then started arranging the bones in decorative shapes like hearts and circles, and they lined the walls with skulls and other creepy remains. One famous display is called the barrel. It's a big round pillar made of skulls and thigh bones that helps support the roof of the room it's in, which is called the Crypt of the Passion or the Tibia Rotunda. The barrel is a bit more morbid than a regular support beam, but it does the job. In the 19th century, a man from Paris named Monsieur Chambéry discovered wild mushrooms growing in an old tunnel. He decided to start farming button mushrooms, known as champignons de Paris, in these abandoned tunnels. The Horticultural Society of Paris quickly recognized his work. Soon, other farmers came to the tunnels to start their own mushroom farms. Mushroom farming in the catacombs became very successful. Even today, if you know where to look, you might still find some farmers growing mushrooms down there. The dark, humid environment is perfect for mushrooms, and the old bones in the tunnels might have even helped fertilize them. During World War II, everyone knew about the Catacombs of Paris and how they stretched for miles underground. Because of this, it's not surprising that they were used during the war. What might surprise you is that both sides used them. The French resistance used the catacombs to hide from the Germans and plan attacks. The tunnels helped them to stay hidden from German spies. On the other side, the Germans also used the catacombs. They built bunkers there, including one under the Lycée Montagny School. You can still see some remains of this bunker today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!